Welcome in to the new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. In this morning's update, we can see XRP's down 1.9%. We've rotated down a little bit from yesterday. No major move to be had as of yet. But if we continue to break down and we can't get back above that 505 level, we do have a technical drop point, first layer of 39.72 cents. And then the wider drop here, if it falls apart, could be all the way down to 30.5 cents. But I anticipate a drop down, especially if we don't recover here in the next, 24 to 36 hours. You'd anticipate the continuation down. We talked yesterday in the morning update while we were still within what looked like a little bit of a rising channel. We've since come outside of it. And now we'll see if this is kind of a consolidation, a sideways consolidation, then we can break up. Or right now it looks more like this sideways consolidation very well could lead to a drop. We do have what could be the start of a reversal, but now this last candle here, even in the 2 hourly, is starting to show a little bit of bearish bias. We just haven't been able to break up. That could be considered a hammer candle, I guess, the one before. But we really need to come back above that 50.5 cents to invalidate a drop down here. It's not even that it'll invalidate it immediately, but it will have the chance of invalidating a drop down to 39.72. And that's the technical drop point coming out of this little rising channel. So, and this was predetermined by the last bear flag that was brought out. And then it didn't quite hit it. It came very close to finishing off that bear flag. It's within the range of error. So if it were to continue up, it would not be surprising. But if it does continue up, we want to have so basically if it does, you have this inverse left shoulder, inverse head, and then this would just be an inverse right arm if this ends up playing up. And then you would expect it at some point to rotate back up if that's the case. But you really need to be above that rising channel support. Otherwise, it opens the door to that 20% drop to come right down here at first tier, right around 39.7 cents. So that's why we watch that area very closely. We've got, within another chart of XRP, this is the cup and handle formation. Right now, we're still below the handle support. And that is always bearish unless you can get back above it. So right now, that's right around that 505 level would get you back into that handle support. And it could possibly be starting a inverse head and shoulders. This could be an inverse right shoulder. It's a very small one at that. But just if you're speculating on what this could be, if it breaks up, obviously, you could say it was doing something like this. And then you could say it pulls it up, maybe back into here or even into here. But as of right now, we're below that very critical resistance. We've not been able to break back above 50.5 cents. So in the immediate short term, that's what everybody should be paying attention to on this Tuesday morning, which I look forward to after this update. I'm going to go over to the gym and get my gym done about 3 hours earlier than I normally do today, which is nice. But yeah, with XRP, if you're a holder of XRP, if you're looking to assert yourself into XRP, don't be frustrated by these movements. If you're looking for opportunity, opportunity is calling. Especially if we get rejected, how we've been so far at that 50.5 cents. If this comes down to 39 cents, I will open up the door to another buy. Just that simple. If this comes below 40 cents, I'll buy more. If not, I've already got a bag filled. And then if it pushes up, that's a beautiful thing as well. But I personally, with what's going on in the current environment, with what I'm learning about the ecosystems, or have learned, but now the advancement of the stable coin on the Ripple, with the XRP ledger, the Ripple stable coin, we'll call it for all intents and purposes right now. It's available on the XRP ledger when it's released, but it's also available on the Ethereum network. And I tried to tie into this yesterday during the live. The beautiful thing about that is you want to talk about liquidity. Even if XRP is just a gas token made to suck up the gas fees, by them doing what I call a 5D chess match or 5D chess move with the Ethereum network, what they did with that Ripple stablecoin, it's not only releasing on the ledger, the XRP ledger, it's also releasing within the Ethereum ecosystem a stablecoin on there. So what that tells me is now that Ethereum, and now we found out Uniswap as well is being targeted, which is part of the ecosystem, is being targeted by the SEC for unregistered securities. This means there could be an unusual amount of liquidity that ends up pulling out of the Ethereum ecosystem via Uniswap and a couple others. But the Ripple stablecoin, whatever they decide to call it, is on the XRP ledger and the Ethereum ecosystem, which means you could buy the Ripple stablecoin and then transfer out of Ethereum very simplistically back to the XRP ledger, and then you could have those funds and you could have a lot of exposure to the things on the ledger. So that's going to bring a lot of liquidity, in my opinion, down the road. This is a move for down the road, but this is also another reason why we need to take advantage of whatever comes here in the short term that will help us unifiably expand what we're doing for the long term. So there's a lot to watch, a lot that doesn't meet the eye. But if you keep watching each and every day, I'll continue to show you that daily movements, the news that's popped up. We do have to read this because of what's timing with today. But we need to read the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit settlement debates and XRP price fall concerns. So we'll read that, as we have a pre-trial conference today, so we want to get into some of the news and notes. And then I don't really feel like there was a ton other that we need to read about today. Just that one in particular about the lawsuit and the what's coming up today. So that's about all I can see for reading today. And then if we're looking at Bitcoin's, and watch commodities. Commodities, like we said, it's either going to push this next level or commodities are going to consolidate a little bit more. But I'm trying to reinsert, with B2 Gold, I already started to. Pan American Silver and AG are the two that I need to reinsert better. But we'll see how this plays out in the short term, as we have small corrections, which aren't unusual. But with the US dollar up at 106.18, it puts a little pressure on precious metals. But I don't expect this to last very long. So if you're not in precious metals, or if you haven't looked at the commodity route yet, take a hard look there and start to maybe look at with these retracements an opportunity here. They're up several dollars still with First Majestic and Pan America Silver, and also Newmont. I don't know where that went. It must have took it off. But these are already up a couple dollars from where we started talking about them. B2 Gold is still up about 22 cents, but it's down 8% in the last day. So as you know, I started buying that back in at $2.72, and I'd like to work my way down to $2.55 if it allows it. But we'll see what happens if it busts that uptrending support for transparency with B2 Gold especially. If for whatever reason this uptrend doesn't hold, as we're about to have a golden cross, if for whatever reason this didn't hold, this would be a barrier at 260 where you could let it go and then you could buy it back down here at 230. That's my game plan. Same as when it was coming up. Same as it will be when it's going down. So hopefully it doesn't come to that, and this is a nice consolidation. But I wanted to show a quick update here because there's a small retracement with B2. Well, it's more than a small. We've had a nice little pullback here from the top at 307. It's down about 11.3% this morning from the top. So that's actually, there's opportunity that could be calling here. Could be a much bigger retracement still though. So I want to see exactly how this reacts. But we have a bullish cross here in the daily. We've had some golden crosses in the 4-hourly, confirmed in the 2-hourly with the 50 going through the 200 as well. And right now it looks like a small cool off, but nothing major here as of right now. So I'll keep you updated on precious metals and what I'm thinking. Remember, B2 Gold's up to almost 6% dividend right now. So that's a beautiful thing as you're consolidating and as you're accumulating. Bitcoin right now, real quickly, is at 63,000, down 428 points. We're down 0.68%, but I don't think anybody's surprised by this. We're trending on the wrong side of town here, folks. And what that means is we went, I even put that up there at 65,430 to show you that little expandable zone that if we got back in, it might invalidate some of this movement. But now we're back below 63,700. And technically, the target is a drop down to 49,537. And I, for one, am rooting for it because then this is basically your consolidation. And if it holds it, then we can start breaking back up. Even if we don't make new highs, what I'm speculating is when we go into the halving, even if we don't make new highs, if this does rotate and break down like this, the halving happens, maybe we can get a nice back test like that, even if it's not bear or bullish. But what I'm seeing here is if you look at this, boom, boom, What if this is how it's going to make an inverse head and shoulders? I know FE4 Life showed us this a few days ago as well, but this is coming down lower than his chart, but it's still the same premise. What if Bitcoin does do something like that? Even if bearish, what if that's what we're looking at? Something like that. It makes a lot of sense for it to come down to that 200 in the daily. Now, there is a stopgap measure at 57K, and what I mean by that is we had that broadening wedge breakout, which was resistance. Now, it could technically use it as support and be a stopgap measure, but the technical measured move out of this busted formation that it created up here is technically right there, and I like the technical targets. So 49,537. So if you're somebody shorting the market, you could absolutely look at Bitcoin and at 63,600 if you're in a short, or 63,000 even, wherever. You have to look at this mid-tier point of 65,700. If you're in it up there, that could be a very, very bad chain of events that could happen in a short. But right now, if you're in it, obviously below 63,000 is key. If you're below 63,000, that's a key. Because if you're above it, at any time you could come back and continue to remess with these areas. And as you can see, we came down in the 30-minute, so now we're back testing the drop. It's essentially all this is. If we get back tested and we fail at 63,700, unfortunately, in my opinion, I think it's already speaking to us. If you look at this, it very well, I mean, it depends how you look at it, but it very well looks like a bear flag is formed. So if that's a bear flag, we already know the target. So watch very closely this morning. Did Bitcoin put in a bear flag to start the Tuesday trading day? And if so, that bear flag is going to bring us to at least 57K, period. This will at least bring us to 57K at best. At worst, you should be looking at 49,700 area. So that's what we're looking at here if this continues down. And it really would help us. We need a breakdown. We need to break this pattern now that we didn't have enough support breaking out. And now it does us very good. It'll do us very good to break down here. It's not that I want these to happen. It's that I know it needs to happen for this market to be extremely bullish if we can consolidate in a proper fashion. If you are watching this morning, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. If you're looking to trade XRP worldwide, not just in the USA, for the lowest spot and leverage trading fees, and where you don't need to use a VPN, in the video description below and our pinned comments is BITUNIX. Take advantage of it worldwide. I've done deeper research, and worldwide it works exactly the same. You don't even need to do a KYC unless you're transferring or depositing from a bank account or debit card. Other than that, you can transfer from another exchange, withdraw to another exchange, or deposit from another exchange. And you don't even need to do a KYC if you don't want to. If you want a sense of security, obviously you can. And there's no VPN required, so don't feel like a criminal when you're trading XRP, no matter where you're at in the world. And then outside of that, BITUNIX is up during all the high times of volatility. Even during that massive drop a couple days ago on Friday, we stayed up the entire time. So a lot more confidence there. And don't pay the high fees of places like Uphold. It's just I got sick of doing it, and now I found a better way. And then if you want to show me personal support, consider joining Tom's Army or sending one YouTube super chat per month as a way to pay it forward. And last but not least, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the over 21,400 subscribers. Let me do an intro and then we'll finish this update. Good morning. 9:03 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. And I reside in the great state of Michigan. I'd like to say that we're shocked by this drop, but we're not. This is what we were calling for yesterday. It's not that I want it to drop. It's just we built a poor precedent here on the way back up. And now if this is forming some kind of bearish structure, we very well could find ourselves down near that 39.7 cent level. There was a mid-tier hold point at 45.3, 43.4. But those levels are just in between. I'm looking at the overall production here and the move. So that's what we're looking at here if this sideways consolidation breaks down. And 50.5 cents is something you must pay attention to if you want this to push back up. And as long as we're below that the cup and handle support, this has a huge shot of breaking down here. And this below it, this isn't even a real support. This is just my handle, or the cup that I showed how it was coming from down to up. But this level right here above it, that is the handle resistance. So anytime you're below that, you could have a big drop. And right now, we are teasing a big drop here for XRP. And whether that's to retest what I want to happen, and what I think it's, teasing us about, is it wants to come back and retest this uptrend at 38.9 cents, which is the pattern formation that started in January of 2018 when we had all-time highs at 330 to 350, depending on exchange. And then we came down for 27 months until we hit our uptrend finally at just over 10 cents. And this has been in place since 2020. So every time we've hit that downtrending resistance, we've come back to the uptrending support. Right now, all we need to do to continue that that history is we came up to 75. Now we need to come down here and hit around 39 cents, which shows why that short-term technical target comes right down to here. And it actually would retest this uptrend. And this is the all-time pattern for anybody who's never seen it. And then if it plays out properly, we could have the biggest W reversal we've seen in quite some time in crypto. But that doesn't leave it without pain. That could still very well come all the way back down to 2 cents, 5 cents if it wants to do a grand reset, which it would be difficult to watch, but that is something in the deck of cards possibly. So that's what I wanted to show on technical analysis. Very briefly, we've got XRP Healthcare up 10.6%. Not much of a surprise for anybody who watched during the lives and stuff yesterday. We talked about these scenarios. And another big move here and catalyst is if we can stay on top of here at 6.2, and that would allow us to continue up without the further retracement. But we've already had a nice bout of retracement before, but this is the longer pattern. So this longer pattern, this can get you all the way up to 11.1. You just got to break successfully. If not, it can break all the way down. It's not 3.6. There's another target. Just real quickly. If it breaks down from in here, then you could bring yourself down to about 4.5 cents first level. But as of right now, we did break up. And that's going to bring us to an upward target of 9.3 if it continues breaking up. So just watch this. It was a nice consolidation. But as you know, we have the up and down ebb and flows day by day. So there's that. We'll get more into all of the technicals when we get into the live tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm watching very closely gold, how it's going to react. I'm watching very closely commodities, how they're going to react. As we suspected some kind of retracement would happen. But we'll see how far it goes. And we'll see what kind of opportunity we have here going forward, because we're not done by a long shot in commodities. It's just we got to find spots where we can either add, depending on your strategy, or you can reinsert yourself back in the market. But we'll talk about more about that tonight at 6:30 p.m. after the commodities market closes, and we'll see how that reacts today. And finally, I want to read this, and then I'm going to release this update. Ripple versus SEC lawsuit settlement debates and XRP price fall concerns. Ripple versus SEC lawsuit debates related to settlement, and lawsuit rises ahead. Key dates of Ripple's opposition filing and XRP price fall amid settlement speculation. So recent events related to Ripple and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, such as Uniswap lawsuit and Ripple stablecoin plans, led to numerous theories on settlement in the SEC versus Ripple Labs lawsuit, especially after a March 29th court filing that showed a settlement conference happened between the parties. Before the settlement conference, the SEC asked the court for a final judgment against Ripple and nearly $2 billion in penalties for violating Section 5 of the Securities Act of 1933 and conducting unregistered offerings of XRP and institutional sales. And this is how you can tell that the SEC is a bunch of scumbags and unethical pieces of shit. No offense to anybody who doesn't like swearing, but they're unethical piles of horse shit, because they're going by an act that the Securities Act of 1933 and Section 5 they're saying you're violating in crypto. Crypto wasn't even thought of for another 70 plus years. So it's all bullshit. That would be like me saying I'm going to use the same rules of enforcement on an orange for taste, color, smell, acidic nature as I'm going to use on an apple. Makes no damn sense. And in this case, it's apples to oranges. There was no thought of crypto back in the Securities Act of 1933. It's that simple. So the fact that this has gone on as long as it has, you know this is one pile of horse shit, and you know this is all one big setup. And this is going to go from one crypto to the next. Now that I see what's happening, there will absolutely be a settlement. I don't believe there's probably going to be a trial anymore. I think the hand's been dealt. And I think this is a way for the SEC to unilaterally go from one crypto to the next and continue to do this farce. As we see, It was in the hopes to avoid Ethereum taking the same step, but that's actually got caught within the trap. Ripple executives Brad Garlinghouse and Stuart Alderodi condemned the SEC and claimed to expose the regulator in the filings on April 22nd. Fresh debates on settlement in Ripple versus SEC started as the Southern District of New York Court's proceeding calendar for the week of April 15 displayed a final pretrial conference. That was scheduled. See, that's all bullshit. That was scheduled. That had to be had. You had to have a one hour minimum settlement conference. It was in the writing before a pretrial debate. So that didn't come on like everybody makes it sound like. That didn't come on out of nowhere. That was scheduled by the judge. Nothing came of it, period. If it did, you would not have anything else happening today. Nevertheless, some XRP Army members still believe a settlement is in play after the SEC's recent closed-door meeting on April 11th. Again, that's all horseshit because I already explained to you. And I get very defensive about these points because a lot of people are speaking on bullshit. No offense, but it's the worst thing that can happen for the XRP community. Too many numbnuts that have no idea what's going on. And even if they wanted to try to read a chart, they wouldn't know how to read it if it slapped them in the face and you know what. However, it's important week as Ripple's defense team prepares to file an opposition brief by April 22nd and a redacted version by April 24th. Further, the SEC is scheduled to file its reply brief by May 6th. The parties and third parties will then confer other possible issues with filings expected until May 20th. So if you really had a settlement conference and there was any point, would you really be doing all of this? Coinbase and Ripple gained clarity from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit that secondary market transactions of cryptocurrency are now not securities. Moreover, Coinbase has filed for interlocutory appeal in the SEC case in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, seeking clarity on whether an investment contract requires something contractual. Pro-XRP lawyer Bill Morgan said Coinbase's potential loss in the SEC appeal could open the door for the SEC to appeal against programmatic sales of XRP, as the appeal centers on a crucial question regarding the definition of an investment contract. A loss in the appeal have significant implications for the lawsuits and the crypto market. XRP price currently trading below the psychological support at 50 cents and the key support level at 52 cents. The price is down 4% in the past 24 hours with a 24-hour low of 47.9 cents. The price tumbled again in market-wide sell-off due to Iran-Israel. I doubt that's the case. The community expressed concerns over the lack of upside momentum, and I love how people throw FUD and fear. That has zero to do with this, ironically, because that already started happening Friday, and we know it didn't happen until Saturday. The propaganda of Iran support, I'm not getting into that bullshit because that's all a bunch of farce. I'm not going to go into it. I don't want to get banned. Some pointing to Ripple's release of XRP from escrow and uncertainty in the case and the reasons behind it. However, active XRPL liquidity pools are increasing, giving some respite for the Army despite a slow growth rate. Following the XRP Ledger liquidity pools since the weekend shows an increase from 277 to 316 active pools, and from 1.8 to 2.15 million. Derivatives traders are buying XRP with more than the 2% increase in XRP futures open interest in the last few hours. As per data by CoinGlass, in the last few hours, total XRP futures OI has also rose by 1%. The buying is witnessed across all major exchanges. Please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update on the way out. And if you made it until the end, hashtag be better, do better in the comments.